This program is brought to you by Globals.
Governance in multipolarity, how attainable? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of your discursive and informative program Global Insider. And today we want to look at a major challenge that presents in a multipolar world, that is that of governance. And in recent years, the world has witnessed a significant transition towards a multipolar reality, and it is more visible in a contemporary society here, where we see multiple nations exerting influence over global governance rather than a single superpower dominating the agenda, which has been the case ever since the end of the Second World War. And of course, this shift is exemplified by the rise of countries like the People's Republic of China. We have India, we have Brazil, and we cannot also forget the radical revolution which has been witnessed across the African continent. Precisely countries in the Sahel, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and other nations understanding the ramifications of multilateralism and multipolarity, bringing together countries also in the Arab world, which actively engage frameworks for growth and development, challenging global decision making from traditional powers such as the United States, the European Union, among others. The emergence, therefore, of new alliances, various regional trade agreements in Asia and Africa underscores the intricacies of cooperation in a landscape defined by diverse national interests. A multipolar world, therefore, puts questions of effective governance to the fore, with protectionist tendencies and interests overshadowing being the new realities, or interests of states being the new realities of international relations. The varied priorities of countries contribute to more fragmented approaches to global challenges. We can name aspects like climate change, security, economic inequality, human rights, among other aspects. So the question which we are putting together thus day, among others, is how attainable is effective governance amid such diverse national interests in a multipolar world? Can we actually develop frameworks that respect sovereignty while promoting collaborative action globally? Is it possible to cultivate shared narratives that transcend regional disparities, fostering a common vision for global progress? What role do emerging technologies and digital platforms play in shaping new political engagement models that might breach these divides, which are very much visible in the contemporary society? And this and more we're going to decode with a panel of experts to understand better how we can challenge the existing forms of governance, or better bring more reforms on these governance that will meet the realities of the present world. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be taking you straight away to Germany, Harley, where we are joined by Harley SCHLANGER, who is an international spokesperson for the Schiller Institute, and he's joining us from Berlin, from Germany to Dakota. What is very vital on the table today? Governance in multipolarity, how attainable. Thank you so much and welcome to this platform.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. It's good to see you again. And this is a crucial topic, especially after the events last week in China with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Eastern Economic Forum. The new era has been put into existence, and it can be denied or tried to be fought against from the West. But what we're seeing is the end of the unipolar era, the end of a 500-year period of European colonialism. And there are some people who don't want to give that up, of course. But what we're seeing now is the emergence from the global South of new leadership looking to the ideas of what can enable them to improve the conditions, not just for their countries, but for their neighbors. So I think this is a crucial topic. I'll just say one thing in the beginning, that I think what we're really talking about is the difference between a world of sovereign republics working together for mutual benefit, as opposed to a world of an empire and colonies. And this idea of sovereignty is one that has been prevented from coming into existence because of the power of the global corporations and the fact that they're running their own economies into the ground. So the Western system of the last 500 years is going to end, and it's going to end hopefully peacefully with a recognition that the interests in the so-called global North and the global South can be brought together. But I think anyone who thinks that the global South is going to continue as it has for 500 years is misreading the goals and desires of especially young people who are becoming leaders in Africa and Asia. And so the unipolar order is dead. Let's welcome the multipolar order, or what President Putin likes to call the new polyphonic harmony, with many voices speaking and performing in harmony.
Indeed, diverse sovereign nations are coming under one umbrella to ensure that the world is a better place for all humanity. Thank you so much again, Harley SCHLANGER. And to Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we're being joined by EZENWA NWAGWU, who is Executive Director, Peering Advocacy Advancement Center in Africa. Welcome to Global Insight this day, sir.
Yeah, Clarisse, it's good to see you again. And thank you, Harley, for that good prefacing of our conversation this evening.
And looking forward to having a constructive conversation, Mr. EZENWA, that will help to spur the policy makers of the continent Africa and also major decision makers across the globe to ensure how to bring new impetus into the governance structure, global governance structure that will respect, of course, the sovereignty of every nation, be it economic, political, and social sovereignty, among others. And to the United States of America, I want to acknowledge Alton Mobley, who is a journalist, historian, and IEC Lawyer's Guide Observer. Welcome to this platform this day, sir.
And appreciate the invitation, and happy to join our other colleagues and guests here.
Indeed, and together we hope to bring more understanding to our millions of viewers out there on why it is imperative to discuss governance in a multipolar setting that is more relevant in today's world. And like has been highlighted by Harley, the leaders meeting in China lately actually reiterated the call for global governance structure in terms of the economic architecture as well, to ensure that there is some sort of balance, if actually that can be feasible in terms of global governance, that will mitigate some of the challenges of multipolarity that we see in contemporary society, and therefore to be able to contextualize our discussion today, it is imperative for us to understand the key terms of governance and multipolarity, and contextualize their definitions in given pertaining to the present realities. Starting off with you, Mobley, what in your own perspective its governance in the 21st century, where we see that multipolarity is becoming more and more relevant?
Certainly, we have a condition these days, whereas Harley mentioned, we've got a hegemonic idea that is trying to cling and hang on to its old colonial power base and structure, and obviously corporations are the drivers behind that particular dynamic. It is refreshing to see that the rest of the world has finally moved with a tremendous lurch forward to address and, for all intents and purposes, eviscerate that condition in the world. And we're feeling the reverberations from it. It is not going to be a comfortable ride for the next couple of years for economies throughout the world. France is feeling very disturbed right now because of what's going on, particularly in its African former holdings of colonies. Britain is feeling it.